Alright guys, we need to talk.
I can't breathe in this stupid mask. You know, a Google search rarely ever fails me, but would someone tell me why? Why is it that we are so ignorant? Why do we take our news, our information from the most unreliable sources? And the best part, from people that would fail a 3rd grade math test. People looking for clout. People looking to incite fear. People with all the wrong agendas. Why do we choose to do this when we can pick up a phone? Yes, this device right here that fits in the palm of my hand. From wherever you're sitting, in bed, on the toilet, 37,000 feet in the sky, we can read about things that happened thousands of years ago and actually validate them for ourselves. So please tell me why. The coronavirus. At this stage, we've all heard about it, but we refuse to go out and seek information. Information that is so freely available. But upon seeing the first foolish post on Facebook, we'll go out and clear the shelves of toilet paper. Yes, toilet paper. Empty aisles of toilet paper. So because we refuse to go out and get the facts for ourselves, I'll get them for you. Then make your judgment call. So what exactly is the coronavirus, you ask? The coronavirus is a family of viruses that cause respiratory illness. For those of you that think this has come out of nowhere to kill off thousands of people, newsflash, this has been around for decades. For those of you who were around in the early 2000s, does SARS ring a bell? Yes, SARS, S-A-R-S. That is also a coronavirus. Just like any other virus, there are common signs of infection. Fever, cough, shortness of breath, breathing difficulties. In more severe cases, you can experience pneumonia, kidney shutdown, and even death. If you are experiencing any of these things, the solution is quite simple, mind-blowingly simple. Go and see your doctor. But hold on, this is the best part. How do we avoid getting infected by this virus? Well, here's where I drop just a massive knowledge bomb. Basic hygiene. Yes, basic. The most basic hygiene. Coughing, sneezing into your elbow. Washing your hands. Things that we should be doing regularly, irrespective of whether we're in fear of getting this virus or not. And if you think you've come into contact with the virus, then yes, it's better to be safe than sorry. And it can take up to 2 weeks for the symptoms to show. So isolate yourself and avoid the chances of spreading the virus. One thing I will tell you, and one thing that did shock me a little from my search, is the virus itself may persist on surfaces for a few hours up to several days. Meaning don't go around and lick public handrails and you should be fine. This new strain of the virus, the one that's been making shockwaves for a few weeks now, this version of the virus is called COVID-19, or the novel coronavirus, or whatever it is you want to call it. There are currently no vaccines to protect you from this strain of the virus at this time, so practice basic hygiene for the sake of yourself and others. If you are feeling sick, go and get yourself checked. Most of the symptoms go away by themselves, but if they don't, a short hospital stay will clear things up, most of the time. So when you hear about something like this, there are obvious questions to follow. And because I'm feeling overly generous, I've gone out and found the answers to these questions for you. How contagious is this actual virus? This is indicated by the reproductive number. Now, the reproductive number tells us the average number of people that an infected person will transmit the virus onto. So in simple terms, the higher the reproductive number, the more contagious this virus is. Preliminary studies have estimated this figure to be between 1.5 and 3.5. Looking at this figure standalone doesn't really help us much, so let's compare it to the common flu. The common flu has a reproductive number of 1.3, and SARS had a reproductive number of 2.0. So looking at these figures alone, we can safely say yes, this thing does look quite contagious. So should I be bunkering myself in my home, not going out in public? Look, I'll leave it to you, but it's probably not the time for that just yet. The second question you should be asking is, how fatal is this virus? The fatality rate has been estimated at approximately 2%. So if you do contract this virus, the likelihood of you dying from it is approximately 2%. Now, this figure will only become more accurate as more accurate data is made available. But again, to compare, SARS had a fatality rate of 10%. And the Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome, which is again part of the same family of coronaviruses, had a fatality rate of approximately 34%. 1 in 3 people who contracted that virus would die. So in comparison, this strain of the coronavirus is not nearly as deadly, for now. If you haven't been paying any attention to this video up to this point, fine, but now I'm going to put things into perspective for you. So if anything's worth listening to, this is it. Let's look at the timeline of this particular strain of virus and then some of the statistics. Now the stats are accurate as of 6:25 GMT on March the 3rd. The very first deaths from this strain of the coronavirus were reported by the China National Health Commission. On the 22nd of January, reports came out that 17 people had died from this virus, 13 of which were males and 4 females. On the 30th of January, approximately a week later, the World Health Organization, more affectionately known as WHO, declared this outbreak a public health emergency. This is when everybody started to lose their shit. So it's only been 41 days since the first reported deaths from this virus. Let's look at how the numbers are tracking so far. In these 41 days, there has been 90,933 cases of this new strain of the coronavirus. This is approximately 2,200 new cases every single day. Of these cases, 39,638 are still active. However, 51,295 have been resolved. By resolved, I mean people who contracted the symptoms have either gotten over the symptoms or passed away from them. 3,119 people have actually died. This is spread to 76 countries and territories. China accounts for approximately 88% of all cases. South Korea, Italy, Iran all have over 1,000 confirmed cases each, and the number is rising. There are no confirmed cases in Ethiopia, so it's probably high time I packed my bags and moved on back. What do you think?